Welcome to a journey through the enigmatic corridors of time, where shadows conceal secrets, and history's untold tales await discovery. In this exploration of forbidden history, we will unveil the concealed chapters, challenge conventional wisdom, and dive headfirst into the mysteries that have defied explanation. Brace yourself for a captivating voyage as we navigate the uncharted waters of the past, reimagining the narratives that have been shrouded in obscurity. The root meaning of Tantra is loom. Its original usage, however, was in reference to any form of experientially gained knowledge and practical know-how, whether agricultural, architectural or artistic, alchemic or astrological. This of course included such crafts as weaving and dyeing, metallurgy and medicine. Yet such practical know-how seems to have sprung up out of the blue, with the creation of the earliest known cities and civilizations. One intriguing notion explored in this essay proposes that the term "out of the blue" might transcend mere metaphor. It delves into the compelling hypothesis that the invaluable know-how was not merely a product of human ingenuity but was, in fact, bestowed upon humanity by entities who presented themselves to mortals as larger-than-life figures, as divine beings descending from the celestial realms. The core argument put forth is that these beings could be accurately described as transhuman entities, bridging the realms of humanity and the divine. These enigmatic entities assumed a pivotal role in the establishment and governance of the earliest cities and urban civilizations. In addition to this, they initiated enduring dynasties of ruler priests among humankind, with a profound mission of safeguarding the sacred wellspring of spiritual and scientific wisdom, often referred to as gnosis, that had been generously imparted to them. These beings were not confined to ethereal encounters alone. They chose to engage with humanity through a myriad of dimensions, including the realm of dreams, as well as extraordinary out-of-body experiences. Moreover, they went to extraordinary lengths to physically manifest themselves, albeit in forms that transcended the familiar boundaries of human existence. A primary objective of this essay is to delve into the profound historical and spiritual context underlying the pervasive perception and symbolic representation of these transhuman entities, along with their earliest steward priests. They were consistently visualized and symbolized as Nagas, or serpentine beings, manifesting in a diverse array of forms. These forms ranged from subterranean or terrestrial to oceanic or aerial, from graceful swimmers to celestial beings with wings, and from amphibious entities to reptilian figures. This exploration seeks to unveil the deeper rationale behind this multifaceted serpent symbolism. In the tapestry of human spirituality, the serpent, once revered as a harbinger of profound wisdom and divine energy, has left its mark across the globe, intertwining itself with the beliefs and traditions of diverse cultures. In ancient times, the serpent was a symbol of enlightenment, holding the knowledge of good and evil. Regrettably, the Christian Church later painted this enigmatic figure as a tempting and malevolent demon. However, the serpent was not always a source of fear. It was worshipped as a representation of the powerful sun god and the transformative element of fire, connecting humanity to the cosmic forces. The spiritually awakened, those whose Kundalini energy surged within them, earned the title of Nagas. This tradition extended far beyond geographical boundaries, and we find echoes of snake worship in places like Ireland and Tibet, where actual serpents are scarce. In the temple carvings of Angkor Wat in Cambodia and within the hallowed walls of Buddhist temples in Sri Lanka, the presence of the Naga endures, carrying a legacy of spiritual significance. The central premise of this video revolves around the profound intention of these beings. Their purpose extended beyond the mere transmission of knowledge. They were on a mission to enhance human intelligence at its core, effectively engineering the birth of Homo sapiens as a unique hybrid, merging the essence of the Nagas with that of mammalian human beings. This transformative endeavor can be discerned in the epithet of the yogic deity, Shiva, often referred to as Naganata, the Lord of the Nagas. It is within this connection that we unearth a crucial key to the mystical Tantric science of Kundalini. Just as the dormant power coiled within the human body evokes the image of a serpent, the very term Kundalini serves as a guiding beacon, leading us back to the wellspring of Tantric spiritual wisdom, originating from those transhuman sources, the Nagas. It unveils the profound veracity of the worldwide serpent symbolism, representing not only an ancient but still latent facet of human consciousness. Above all, this symbolism mirrors the innate serpentine agility inherent in the human capacity for heightened awareness. There is no requirement for us to disrobe and wander unclothed, reminiscent of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, or like the ascetic wanderers of India known as Nagas, to truly experience the sensation of our own skin and the inherent nakedness of our bodies. Likewise, we need not engage in an external shedding of our skin, akin to the way a snake or serpent, as symbolized by the term Naga, discards its old skin, to no longer perceive it as a constraining and enclosing limit to our existence. Through our exposed skin, we embrace the sensations of light, warmth, and the expansive realm that surrounds us. However, this intimate bodily awareness of the space enveloping us, although perceived through the sensory surface of our skin, transcends the confines of our physical forms. This is to say, the naked truth is that our bodies, whether draped in garments or not, perpetually exist in a state of raw openness. In this inherent state of nakedness, our skin does not act as a boundary to limit our awareness. Any perception of such confinement is an illusion that can be cast aside, thereby enabling us to encounter the entire world as an extended expanse of consciousness, a grander, more inclusive circumference of awareness. The essence of naked truth mirrors the profound revelation that enticed Eve through the serpent's cunning in the Genesis story. According to this ancient narrative, it was only after partaking in the forbidden fruit from the tree of knowledge that Adam and Eve became conscious of their own nakedness. Simultaneously, they grappled with a new emotion, guilt, for having consumed the fruit. In this transformative moment, their nakedness took on a dual aspect. It wasn't a mere awareness of their physical nakedness that emerged, but, rather, a poignant realization that God's gaze penetrated beyond their outward forms, discerning the guilt that weighed upon their hearts. Consequently, they became doubly exposed, not merely due to their bare bodies, but more significantly, due to the profound recognition that their inner emotions were laid bare before a divine presence. The knowledge they gained by acknowledging their own nakedness was, at its core, a profound insight into the nature of awareness itself. It was the realization that anything we consciously experience cannot be hidden behind the veil of our physical forms, rendering us undeniably exposed to the scrutiny of others. This was an awakening to the fact that awareness possesses the remarkable ability to convey and communicate instantaneously. Yet, it is precisely through this act of communication that awareness functions as the unifying thread that binds and reconnects us as beings. It becomes the very essence of what we term religion, that which binds us together once more, forging the bonds of shared understanding and connection. This is one compelling reason why, stretching across the expanse of the world, long before the emergence of the Book of Genesis and the contemporary era of globalization, the serpent or snake stood as a ubiquitous religious emblem representing this wisdom, this gnosis. Worship of the serpent spirit, another facet of the meaning of Naga, served as a unifying force within the early matriarchal faiths and civilizations. The spirit of the serpent, akin to that of the human being, lies in its awareness, an awareness so profoundly exposed that it transcends even the confines of its own skin. This raw and uninhibited truth of awareness, its boundless nature, finds its symbol in the snake's remarkable capacity to entirely shed its outermost skin, shedding its surface boundary in its entirety, reflecting the boundless potential of consciousness. The serpent featured prominently in the Book of Genesis, the first book of the Old Testament, and in the Pentateuch. According to the Haggadah, a commentary on the Pentateuch, the serpent was depicted as a tall, two-legged creature possessing remarkable mental prowess. In a divine conversation, it is said that God addressed the serpent, proclaiming, "I fashioned you to rule over all the creatures, to stand upright." In a similar vein, the deities of ancient Sumeria or Sumeria were often portrayed as towering, winged humanoid reptilian beings, frequently accompanied by serpents in their iconography. In the Rig Veda, there is a mention of an entire civilization of serpent beings known as Nagas. Among them, their leader Ahi engaged in a legendary battle against Indra, who held the exalted status of the supreme deity among the Aryan invaders. Dr. Naval Vayogi's book, Nagas, The Ancient Rulers of India, offers a comprehensive historical account that reveals these rulers as part of a lineage of ruler priests, with origins tracing back to Sumeria. Indeed, the ancient Sumerian king list bequeathed to humanity two profound lineages of ruler priests and spiritual wisdom. The first lineage stemmed from the Hebrew patriarchs who traced their ancestry back to Seth, and they carried with them an esoteric tradition of knowledge that we now recognize as Kabbalah. The second lineage, that of the Nagas, exerted its influence that radiated from the Indus Valley civilization, ultimately shaping the historic roots of the Tantric tradition, which later bloomed in the rich tapestry of Kashmir's spiritual landscape. These two esoteric currents transcended geographical boundaries, extending their influence into the realms of Egypt, Greece, and Palestine, leaving indelible marks on the tapestry of human history and spirituality. Naga monarchs, both kings and queens, were often depicted with bodies portraying a unique fusion of human and serpent, featuring entwined tails and majestic cobra hoods that adorned their heads. These sacred symbols of the Naga lineage, particularly the regal cobra, found resonance and integration in various aspects of spiritual tradition. They were adopted into the Vedas, embraced within the tenets of Buddhism, and seamlessly woven into the fabric of Hindu iconography. An iconic representation of this harmonious amalgamation can be observed in the image of the cobra coiled around the neck of the deity Shiva, also known as Naga-Nata, the Serpent Lord. This fusion of ancient symbols and beliefs created a rich tapestry of spiritual significance and cultural heritage that endures to this day. The tapestry of symbolism in ancient traditions weaves a vivid narrative. Vishnu, in tranquil slumber, rests within the embrace of the multi-headed cobra named Ananta, signifying the infinite. The enigmatic figure of Krishna, who transcended Aryan conventions with his dark complexion, serves as the avatar of Vishnu. Upon Krishna's passing, his soul emerged in the form of a cobra, symbolizing his boundless inner body or soul body. In the realm of Buddhist lore, the mythological Nagarajas, the serpent kings, reign over the vast cosmic oceans, adding to the rich tapestry of serpentine symbolism that runs through ancient wisdom and spirituality. These narratives, deeply embedded in cultural and spiritual heritage, continue to impart profound meaning to those who seek to unravel their mysteries. The profound presence of Nagas and their serpentine symbolism transcends the confines of India, resonating across a tapestry of global cultures and belief systems. From the vast landscapes of China, Tibet, Iran, Iraq, Anatolia, Ceylon, Crete, Palestine, Egypt, Greece, and Ireland to the distant shores of Africa, America, and Australia, the ubiquity of these oceanic and airborne serpents, serpent spirits, deities, and serpent kings leaves a trail of ancient wisdom. This enigmatic presence remains intertwined with the cradle civilizations and ancient cities of yore, leaving its mark on the races connected to them and the diverse cultures they nurtured. Whether we explore the realms of the Chinese or Celtic, Sumerian or Semitic, South American or Dravidian, Druidic or Tamil, Aztec or Toltec, Hopi, Hebrew, or Harappan, the thread of serpent symbolism weaves a profound tapestry of shared human heritage and spiritual significance that transcends borders and boundaries. Throughout the annals of human history, from the very inception of recorded knowledge, the enigmatic lore of a serpent race has continued to endure. These ancient legends unveil the tantalizing accounts of a cryptic, superhuman lineage of reptilian entities who descended from the celestial realms. Their mission encompassed not only the act of shaping humanity's origins but also imparting profound wisdom, forbidden knowledge, societal order, and even intertwining their existence with our own through interbreeding. These serpent-like beings were not solitary figures. Rather, they were part of an entourage of extraordinary beings who, in the eyes of our ancestors, assumed godlike stature, guiding and observing our development with an otherworldly presence. Across the vast expanse of human cultures, from Sumeria and Babylonia to India, China, Japan, Mexico, and Central America, reverence and fear have coiled around the figures of reptilian deities. Even in our contemporary world, the dragon and serpent persist as symbols of divine lineage and regal authority in many Asian lands. Meanwhile, in Western traditions, the serpent has become synonymous with the embodiment of wisdom and the keeper of sacred knowledge. These ancient symbols continue to weave their mystical tales, transcending time and geography. Some intriguing hypotheses propose a fascinating connection between Aratta and the ancient city of Harappa, a pivotal site within the lost Indus Valley civilization. Harappa, in tandem with Mohenjo-Daro, stood as a testament to the rich history of the Dravidian people, often portrayed as the legendary serpent people who inhabited the region before the arrival of the Aryans. These speculative links form an intricate tapestry of history, highlighting the enigmatic origins of early Indian civilizations. The rise of these ancient cities was nothing short of miraculous. They didn't slowly evolve from rudimentary villages. Instead, they emerged as fully fledged urban centers within a mere century or so. It was as if an external, guiding hand had meticulously crafted these cities from the ground up, almost like a colony. The prevailing theory suggests that the Sumerians, led by the chief engineer, Enki, played a pivotal role in their construction. These cities, bursting to life between 3500 and 3000 BC, bore witness to a violent and tumultuous end around 2000 BC or shortly thereafter, as corroborated by the insights of archaeological research. The mystery of their rapid birth and eventual demise adds a layer of intrigue to the annals of ancient history. A puzzling enigma that has long perplexed historians revolves around the curious fact that the inhabitants of these cities bore no relation to the Aryans, who arrived on the scene some 500 to 600 years later, settling in the fertile regions of the Punjab and Gangetic plains. Just like the enigmatic Sumerians, the people dwelling in the ancient realms of Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa spoke an obscure and unidentified language. Historians have woven a fascinating theory, suggesting that these cities stood as the vibrant epicenter of Dravidian culture and were home to the Nagas, a mysterious race often described as serpent men. This captivating narrative hints at the diverse tapestry of humanity's ancient past, where history and myth seem to intertwine. The venerable ancient Book of Xian, believed to be among the most ancient Sanskrit texts, imparts the captivating tale of a serpent race that descended from the heavens to bestow their wisdom upon humanity. The remarkable journey of Madame H.P. Blavatsky, spanning 3 years in the sacred landscapes of Tibet, Bhutan, and Sikkim, yielded a treasure trove of thousands of Sanskrit sources. These invaluable texts were meticulously assembled to craft the timeless compendium known as the Book of Xian. Within this repository of ancient wisdom, the focus shifts to the enigmatic Nagas, often referred to as the Sarpa. These semi-divine beings, characterized by a human visage and the sinuous tail of a dragon, become a fascinating subject of study. Blavatsky held a profound conviction that the Sarpa could be none other than the seraphim of the Old Testament, thereby suggesting a shared etymological lineage between these seraphim and the Sarpa of ancient India. This enthralling theory unveils a thread of connection that winds its way through distant cultures and spiritual traditions. The rich tapestry of Hindu mythology and literature paints vivid narratives of divine unions between gods and mortals, as well as the intriguing accounts of the genesis of peculiar entities known as Dravidian and Dazis. These beings were believed to have dwelled within imposing walled cities of their own. Described as a robust, earthy people, they had distinctive characteristics, with dark complexions and prominent flat noses. The tales interweave threads of mystique, conjuring a mosaic of ancient beliefs and legends. As time unfurled, the Aryans encountered the vestiges of these enigmatic serpent beings, whose presence is vividly portrayed within the verses of the Ramayana. Near Bhogavata lies the abode of the serpent race, a city grand with broad avenues, fortified and secured by vigilant guardians. Among them, the most formidable of the serpent youth, each renowned for their venomous fangs, is Vasuki, the sovereign who reigns over them all from his imperial hall. This narrative paints a mesmerizing picture of an ancient world where myths and reality intertwined. In the prehistoric era, the Dravidians of antiquity met their fate through the sweeping deluge. As the earth was repopulated in the wake of this cataclysmic event, Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro emerged as the vibrant heart of Dravidian culture once more. The compelling evidence that Dravidian, Dasyus, and Nagas may have all been different monikers for these ancient peoples is enshrined within the monumental Indian epics, the Mahabharata and the Ramayana. These timeless narratives hold within their verses the echoes of a complex and intricate tapestry of historical heritage. Within the annals of both the Mahabharata and the Ramayana, we delve into the intricate stories of early Aryan encounters with the enigmatic serpent people. These interactions were as diverse as they were intriguing, spanning from friendly alliances to confrontations filled with hostility. The intermingling of Aryan and serpent races through intermarriage casts a complex shadow over these two epic sagas. This intricate dance between love and aversion, a profound ambivalence, weaves an enduring theme throughout these timeless narratives. In the illustrious Mahabharata, a gathering of celestial beings descends upon the earthly realm in ethereal chariots to grace the grandeur of the Aryan king's wedding feast. The divine visitors arrived on cloud-borne chariots, their splendid presence painting the sky with wonder. Among them were the winged Supanas, the resplendent Nagas, and a radiant assembly of celestial vehicles, a majestic congregation that graced the boundless expanse of the cloudless heavens. This scene evokes a sense of otherworldly splendor, a testament to the mythical tapestry of the epic. The interweaving of Nagas and Aryans through marriage forged a lineage of noble kings and valiant heroes. Evidently, the Rig Veda bears witness to this fusion, with names like Divadasa serving as a testament to the mingling of Dasyus and Aryans, a phenomenon that appears to have unfolded shortly after 1500 BC. This historical interplay of cultures and bloodlines offers a captivating chapter in the grand narrative of human history. In the realm of ancient Hindu mythology, many of the divine deities engaged in unions with mortals, echoing the tales of Sumer, and from these unions arose a unique lineage, semi-divine monarchs, who resonate through the rich tapestries of both Sumerian and Indian literature. A testament to this intricate interplay is the majestic Indian epic, the Ramayana. It unfolds the riveting saga of Sita, the beloved bride of a northern prince named Rama. Her life takes a dramatic turn when she is abducted by Ravana, the serpent king of the distant island realm of Ceylon, known today as Sri Lanka. This narrative is a captivating testament to the interweaving of myths and legends that span across borders and civilizations. The island kingdom of Ceylon, ruled by the formidable Ravana, serves as a bastion of the Nagas, a serpent people. Remarkably, the very ancient Chinese sources hark back to this realm as the homeland of the Nagas. In one of the earliest literary accounts of Ceylon, dating back to a time when it traded with China before the Aryan influx into India, it is depicted as a land teeming with enigmatic reptilian-like creatures. Blessed with an abundance of precious gems and aromatic spices, and strategically positioned as a bustling entrepot, it gained favor among Chinese merchants. This vibrant tapestry of history captures the allure of this island, where myth and commerce converged in ancient times. The accounts of Fa Xian, the intrepid Chinese pilgrim trader, unveil a remarkable history. The island was originally inhabited by Nagas, enigmatic serpent deities who engaged in commerce with merchants from diverse lands. The Nagas remained concealed, shrouded in mystery, never revealing themselves to outsiders. Instead, they presented their precious wares adorned with price tags. The visiting merchants, undaunted by the elusive hosts, conducted their transactions based on the marked prices and carried away their treasures. This narrative paints a vivid portrait of an ancient marketplace shrouded in a veil of enchantment and intrigue. The epic tale of the Mahabharata finds its inception in the grand sacrifice undertaken by King Janamejaya. As the sage Vyasa, the son of Pariksit, weaves the narrative, King Janamejaya embarks on a solemn ceremony to avenge his father's tragic demise. This sacred rite takes the form of a snake sacrifice, known as the yajna. Its profound aim is to obliterate the Nagas, these serpent deities who were believed to possess the extraordinary power to shift between serpent and human forms at will. It was one of these Nagas that claimed the life of Pariksit, and now, Janamejaya's quest for retribution begins. This monumental tale is a testament to the eternal dance between destiny and determination that unfolds in the vast tapestry of Indian mythology. The legends of serpent gods are not confined to one corner of the world. They ripple through the rich tapestry of African mythology and religion as well. Among the Dogon people of Mali and Upper Volta, their ancient deity embarked on a cosmic creation tale. This god first fashioned the sun and the moon, then meticulously molded the very earth from a humble lump of clay. As the grand culmination of this divine endeavor, the god shaped the first primitive beings. These inaugural figures, known as Nummo, embodied a mesmerizing duality, with aspects both human and serpentine, a testament to the enduring dance of creation and mystique that courses through the veins of African folklore. Within the heart of Nyoro tribe's legends, a divine tale unfolds, recounting the moment when God initiated the establishment of our world. This benevolent deity sent forth the first human couple from the heavens to grace the earthly realm. The man, endowed with a curious tale, became the progenitor of two maiden spirits and a young boy. Through these offspring, the chameleon, an enigmatic figure, came into existence, a figure revered as the forebear of all humankind. This narrative resonates as an ethereal echo of creation and origin, intricately woven into the fabric of Nyoro folklore. In the rich tapestry of African traditions, numerous tribes share a profound connection to their lizard-like ancestors. Among the Kumbi, the initial men fashioned by the divine hand possessed tails, a testament to their ancient lineage. The Yuho tribe, in their folklore, speaks of men with tails who descended to earth by carefully descending on a rope. Among the Jaga, their forebears embarked on a celestial journey from the heavens to earth, using a delicate thread spun from a cobweb. This ancestor, affectionately known as the Tailed One, symbolizes the enduring link between earthly existence and the mysteries of the cosmos in the intricate narratives of African cultures. In the grand tapestry of history and mythology, the serpent god, while metamorphosing into the dragon in Chinese lore, unmistakably retains the essence of the winged, legged serpent, a parallel to the revered Naga of Hindu tradition. China's decision to anoint the dragon as its national emblem was no mere happenstance. It was imbued with profound significance. The Chinese held a fervent belief that the celestial dragon stood as the progenitor of the first dynasty of divine emperors. As a result, the dragon's emblem was seen as a harbinger of divine benevolence, showering its blessings upon the fertile land of China. This choice echoed through the ages, a testament to the intricate interplay of history, myth, and national symbolism. In the annals of Chinese history, the revered Asian dragons were not mere bystanders at the dawn of creation. They walked in harmony with humanity, sharing the nascent world. Much like the serpents of Western lore, the dragon was intricately linked with the advancement of humanity, playing a pivotal role in the evolution of mankind. These benevolent creatures took on the role of educators, imparting essential arts such as the mystical knowledge of kindling fire, the craft of weaving intricate fishing nets, and the ethereal magic of crafting music. Their guidance wove the tapestry of early human development, leaving an indelible mark on the path of civilization. The Chinese dragon, unrivaled in its boundless wisdom and the bestowal of blessings, naturally became the emblem of the most benevolent among men, the emperor, who was thought to possess the very essence of dragon blood. This deep connection with the dragon extended to the emperor's regalia. The sovereign occupied a magnificent dragon throne, embarked upon regal journeys aboard a dragon boat, and even rested in a grand dragon bed. These opulent symbols spoke volumes about the sacred link between the celestial dragon and the ruler of the Middle Kingdom, an enduring emblem of imperial might and divine benevolence. Within the mystical pages of the Viking, the most ancient of Chinese texts, veiled in the shroud of antiquity, lies the narrative of a bygone era. It whispers of a time when humans and dragons coexisted harmoniously, even forming bonds through intermarriage. The tale unfurls, revealing how these magnificent dragons ascended to become the very symbol of the emperor and the august throne of China itself. Among them, the chief dragon reigned supreme, dwelling in the ethereal expanse of the sky. This enigmatic chronicle weaves together the threads of history and myth, a testament to the timeless connection between man, dragon, and celestial mysteries. In the annals of 212 BC, Emperor Qin Shi Huangdi issued a fateful decree, commanding the annihilation of ancient texts and the ruthless persecution of scholars for a span of 4 tumultuous years. This cataclysmic chapter in history, an early harbinger of a cultural revolution, witnessed the unthinkable, 460 erudite minds entombed alive. Amidst this fervent suppression of ancient wisdom, one work stood as an exception to the edict, the Viking, held in such sacred reverence that it emerged unscathed from the destructive tide, safeguarding its cherished secrets and the echoes of a bygone era. Within this timeless classic, the emperors of old are cast in a dragon-like aura. Consider the illustrious Huan-Ti, a figure whose reign is traced back to 2697 BC, bearing the enigmatic qualities of a dragon. The legendary Emperor Yao, who graced the annals of history around 2356 BC, is wrapped in the mystique of dragon lineage, born of a divine union between a dragon father and a mortal mother. Emperor Shun, whose era is dated to 2255 BC, is vividly depicted with the visage of a dragon, a regal countenance that weaves the mythical with the historical. These imperial tales bring to life an age when the line between humanity and the divine was exquisitely blurred. In the heart of Central America, a vivid tapestry unfolds, revealing that Nagual and Nagualism were intricately linked with the men of knowledge, long before the advent of the New Age movement and the emergence of Carlos Castaneda. During the era of conquest and inquisition, numerous priests and intrepid explorers etched into history the resonance of the term Nahuatl. It served not only as a representation of language, culture, and people but also as a beacon for the very essence of knowledge itself. Those who were entrusted with the sacred art of direct knowing were revered as Nagalists, guardians of a mystical realm that transcended the mundane. This tale captures the spirit of ancient wisdom and direct enlightenment in the heart of the Americas. In the bygone year of 1894, a distinguished figure emerged onto the stage of history, Daniel Griffin Brinton, an erudite archaeologist, linguist, and ethnologist. He penned a captivating tome, Nagualism, a study in Native American folklore and history, which wove together the threads of historical interpretation surrounding the enigmatic word, Nagualism. Within its pages, he unveiled the profound legacy of those who walked the path of Nagualism, offering a captivating exploration of Native American folklore and the intriguing tapestry of history. Brinton's work stands as a testament to the enduring quest to unearth the ancient wisdom and mystique that courses through the veins of indigenous cultures. Within the tapestry of Maya civilization in Central America, the prevalence of snake symbolism paints an intricate portrait. Their art predominantly showcases serpents adorned with feathers, hinting at the mystical power of flight. In the hallowed pages of the ancient Mayan book, Chilam Balam, a tale unfolds, chronicling the genesis of Yucatan's earliest settlers, known as the Chains or the People of the Serpent. These intrepid souls embarked on a voyage across the boundless sea from the east, led by none other than Itzamna, a deity imbued with the essence of the serpent. This narrative resonates as an embodiment of Mayan heritage, where the serpent weaves together the threads of myth, migration, and ancient wisdom. Itzamna, a towering presence in the Mayan pantheon, held a unique position as the preeminent sky god, sovereign of the celestial realm. Unlike many Mayan deities entwined with death and destruction, Itzamna was a beacon of creation and vitality. He donned the mantle of the creator god, bestowing the divine breath of life upon humanity. In this sacred role, he bears a striking resemblance to the Sumerian god Enki, who similarly embodies the essence of life's genesis. The venerated scholar Eric Thompson, often hailed as the Dean of Mayan Studies, delves into the etymology of Itzamna's name, suggesting that the term Itzam, from which the deity's name springs, can be aptly translated as lizard or reptile. This narrative unearths the hidden connections between cultures and the ancient threads of creation that bind them together. Indeed, the city of the revered god Itzamna, known as Itzamnal, bears the evocative name that translates to the place of the lizard. In the vibrant tapestry of Mayan artistry, one finds numerous anthropomorphic representations of Itzamna, depicted as a fusion of the human and serpent, embodying the benevolent essence of the serpent god. This mystical figure transcends the boundaries of time and culture, making an entrancing appearance in the later chapters of Mexican mythology, within the Aztec civilization. Here, Quetzalcoatl emerges as the plumed serpent god, a harbinger of civilization's blessings. He imparts the profound knowledge of astronomy and mathematics to humanity, becoming a beacon of enlightenment and a guardian of ancient wisdom. This narrative bridges the ancient civilizations of Maya and Aztec, where the serpent's wisdom flows through the ages. The enigmatic duality of the serpent, as a wellspring of both benevolence and malevolence, weaves its intricate tale within the annals of Egyptian religion. This intriguing shift in perception, perhaps triggered by singular historical events, marks a profound evolution. In the age of the Old and Middle Kingdoms, the serpent emerged as a symbol of goodwill, intricately linked with divinity and the promise of immortality. However, as the sands of time flowed onward, a transformation began to take shape, most notably with the onset of the New Kingdom, particularly during the illustrious 18th dynasty. In this era, the serpent's countenance shifted, casting it in the role of a sinister entity to be reviled and exorcised. This narrative mirrors the dynamic ebb and flow of belief and reverence, where the serpent symbolism unfolded through epochs of Egyptian history. Within the hallowed tombs of the earlier dynasties, the serpent graced the walls as a benevolent companion, bearing the king upon its back, ferrying him into the celestial expanse. This symbolic journey spoke of the monarch's passage, guided by the serpent god, to the realm of immortality, the sacred domain of the gods themselves. During this transformative period, the serpent assumed a new mantle, becoming a potent symbol of regal authority and divine stature. It made its regal debut as the uraeus, the divine asp, adorning the headdress of the pharaoh. This ornate headdress crowned the ruler, linking him with both earthly sovereignty and a sacred connection with the divine, transcending the boundaries of the mortal world. In the New Kingdom, a significant shift unfolds within the tapestry of belief. Following the triumph of the initial rulers from the 18th dynasty, who had liberated the land from the loathed Hyksos invaders, the serpent undergoes a stark transformation. It metamorphoses into a malevolent force, a sinister presence that is to be expunged through solemn rituals. This serpent, known as Apep or Apop, bearing the Greek name Apophis, embodies the specter of the foreign and barbaric Hyksos who had encroached upon and held Egypt in their grip for an extended period. This narrative mirrors the tides of history, where the serpent's role shifts from a symbol of reverence to a harbinger of dread, echoing the nation's quest for liberation. At the heart of this historical epoch, Apop emerged as the original ruler of the Hyksos, presiding over a dynasty that spanned from the 14th through the 17th dynasty. A notable pattern emerged among these rulers, as many chose to adopt the name Apop. This nomenclature was especially poignant in the case of the final Hyksos king, who stood as the last bastion of their rule before succumbing to the indomitable might of Ahmose and Kamose, the visionary founders of the illustrious 18th dynasty. This transformative moment in history heralded a shift in power, marking the conclusion of the Hyksos dominion and the rise of a new era in Egypt's storied history. Apop, a figure of multifaceted significance, bore an array of epithets, and in the solemn rituals designed to vanquish him, he was denounced by an array of names. This ceremonial practice resonates with echoes of the yajna ceremony of the ancient Hindus, where the names of various serpents were invoked as they were offered to the purifying flames. This shared thread of ritualistic naming and the primal struggle against serpent-like entities transcends geographical boundaries, underscoring the universal human quest for mastery over primordial forces and the yearning for renewal and purification. The visceral aversion of the Egyptians toward the Hyksos was firmly grounded in the painful recollection of the oppressive reign of these foreign rulers. The Hyksos, with a systematic intent, had wrought havoc upon Egyptian culture and monuments, leaving indelible scars upon the nation's collective memory. Remarkably, these reviled individuals trace their lineage back to the Rephaim, the progeny of the antediluvian Nephilim, who ascended to dominion over the lands of the Middle East in the aftermath of the deluge. This revelation unveils a deeper layer of historical interconnectedness, where the past resonates with the distant echoes of bygone eras and dynasties, underscoring the complexity of human history. The Nagas, far from being confined to a serpentine realm, encompass a diverse spectrum of attributes, including their presence as aquatic and oceanic spirits. In Indonesian folklore, the female Nagi, often referred to as the princess with the fishy smell, embodies this watery essence. In distant Chota Nagpur, the lineage of kings finds its roots in a Naga named Pundarika, renowned for his notably unfragrant breath, as documented by Eliade. Meanwhile, within the tapestry of Mesopotamian culture, the Naga manifests as the wisdom-bearing deity, Oannes, a being of amphibious nature. Oannes stands in kinship with the Sumerian water god, Enki, or Ea, both embodying the fusion of terrestrial and aquatic elements. This narrative unravels the multifaceted nature of the Nagas, extending their dominion into the depths of watery realms and the profound currents of human lore. The annals of history, as conveyed through the accounts of Aristotle's disciple, reference a remarkable narrative of ancient times. In this enigmatic tale, a group of beings known as the Anunnaki emerges from the depths of the Persian Gulf, led by a figure named Oannes. These extraordinary beings are described as amphibious creatures, sporting the head of a human, a body and tail reminiscent of a fish, and yet endowed with the limbs of a man. This arcane chronicle unveils a mosaic of curious and enigmatic beings, blurring the lines between land and sea, as they ventured forth from the depths of antiquity. A vivid and perplexing image emerges from this historical account, a figure whose form bore the entirety of a fish's body. Yet, atop this piscine frame, a second head, distinctly human, crowned his enigmatic visage. Remarkably, human feet extended from beneath his fish-like tail, creating a peculiar amalgamation. His vocalizations were those of a human, and a lasting image capturing this enigmatic being has endured through time. In his earthly sojourn, he dwelt among humanity without partaking of sustenance, dedicating himself to the task of imparting knowledge. He bestowed upon them the keys to the written word, the various sciences, and an array of arts. This enduring enigma of history beckons us to fathom the profound teachings and mysteries that were shared by this unique being, transcending the boundaries of terrestrial and aquatic realms. With unparalleled wisdom and guidance, he illuminated the path of human progress. Oannes, in his remarkable instruction, led humanity to the construction of cities, the establishment of temples, and the codification of laws. He delved into the mysteries of geometrical knowledge, unraveling its profound principles. Through his teachings, he equipped them to discern the seeds of the earth, to cultivate and gather its bountiful fruits. In sum, he offered an education that spanned every facet of life, nurturing gentler customs and the refinement of laws. Oannes' legacy is one of enlightenment and the cultivation of the human spirit. In the annals of history, it is recounted that no further material enhancements were made to his profound teachings. As the sun dipped beneath the horizon, Oannes, this amphibious sage, would recede once more into the embrace of the sea. It marked a remarkable epoch, one that would endure as an unparalleled source of wisdom. In the wake of Oannes' presence, the tapestry of existence unfolded, bringing forth a succession of other beings akin to this enigmatic figure. These aquatic entities stepped into the tapestry of human consciousness, continuing the legacy of knowledge and enlightenment initiated by Oannes. Such is the ebb and flow of wisdom, carried on by the tides of time. The very form and stance of Oannes strikingly mirrors the likeness of the Sumerian deities known as the Anunna, or Anunnaki, signifying those who descended from the heavens. Under the guidance of Oannes and his kind, these enigmatic beings bequeathed to humanity the vast repository of ancient wisdom. The legend recounts how Oannes illuminated the path for mankind, imparting the knowledge of city building, temple establishment, the formulation of laws, the art of land surveying, and the secrets of agriculture. His teachings encompassed the realms of mathematics, the sciences, and the myriad forms of artistry. In the annals of time, Apollonius referred to Oannes and the Anunnaki by the name Musurus, signifying their profound impact on the course of human history. The term Musurus bore the weighty connotation of an abomination in the Greek lexicon, much akin to how Anunnaki signified the repulsive ones. Astonishingly, the very beings credited with the establishment of civilization were, in frank terms, characterized by the venerable Babylonian society as repulsive abominations. This paradoxical portrayal adds a layer of intrigue to the enigma of these ancient entities and their impact on human development. What is even more intriguing is the striking resemblance between Oannes, as depicted by Berossus and Apollodorus, and the Sumerian deity Enki. Enki is celebrated as the progenitor of Mesopotamian civilization, the bestower of refined arts and scientific knowledge to humanity. His abode was the enigmatic water palace known as Abzu, situated on the shores of the Persian Gulf. Notably, Enki's Abzu was a sealed, and possibly submersible, domain, adding to the mystique of his divine presence. The legend of Oannes recounts his nightly return to his aquatic abode, evoking a profound connection to the watery realm. Interestingly, the very name, Anadoti, bears a notable resemblance to the Sumerian term, Anunnaki, the people of Enki. It is conceivable that the Greek designation might have originated in the annals of Sumerian history, subsequently serving as a descriptor for a race characterized by their reptilian nature and the aversion they invoked. This interplay of languages and cultures adds another layer to the enigmatic story of these beings. Augustine's profound insight regarding the fish symbolizes the divine mystery. By combining the initial letters of the 5 Greek words, Jesus Christos Theo Uios Sota, they ingeniously form the word Ichthus, signifying fish. Yet, the mystical essence of this term reveals the profound connection to Christ. It signifies his ability to exist untainted, akin to life teeming within the unfathomable depths, untouched by the abyss of our mortal existence. This spiritual analogy unveils the depth of Christ's purity and divinity. The enigmatic figure of Oannes holds a remarkable connection to the Johannine Christian tradition, particularly in the veneration of Saint John among the apostles. Saint John, known as the Submerger or Baptizer, carries a name that echoes Joannes or Joannes, aligning with the enigmatic Oannes. Furthermore, the enduring symbol of Jesus, represented as the fish, finds resonance in the intricate geometric form known as the Vesica Piscis. This symbol, shaped by the convergence of 2 circles at their center, holds profound significance, embodying not only the fish but also symbolizing the female, carrying multifaceted spiritual connotations. The Essenes, a group to which Jesus the Nazarene is believed to have belonged, can be traced back to the Nars, or Narsenes, a sect that held reverence for Sophia, the illuminating wisdom embodied in the serpent, Ophis. Regarding the Nagas as ocean serpents, the Mahabharata recounts the story of Kadru, the wife of Rishi Kashyapa, who becomes the mother of 1,000 serpent sons, described as serpents of splendor. She orchestrates the return of these serpents to the abode of the Nagas, situated within the womb of the sea. This mythic narrative underscores the deep connection between serpents and the primordial waters, emphasizing their role as guardians of wisdom and ancient knowledge. Dagon, also known as Oannes, embodied a peculiar fusion of human and fish attributes, earning him the title of the Lord of the Flood. According to legend, he would emerge from the sea daily to impart his esoteric wisdom to his devoted followers. The physical depiction associated with Dagon extended beyond a single entity and was representative of an entire race of deities. These beings were identified in the Bible as Nephilim or fallen angels, and in other contexts, they were referred to as the Great Old Ones. In Genesis, the term Nephilim is linked with the plural Hebrew word Elohim, which has been historically misinterpreted as God in the Old Testament. The word Elohim plays a prominent role in the Pentateuch, the collection of the first 5 books of Moses, also known as the Elohist tradition. In these writings, Elohim was the preferred term for referring to the creators, in contrast to Yahweh. In Hebrew, the term El, derived from the Akkadian Elu, was a general word for a god or deity, and Elohim, as its plural form, literally meant the gods. So, wherever you find the word God in Genesis, replace it with the word Elohim, which is the original term used. In several instances where the leader of the Elohim is addressing the other gods, the English rendering is the Lord God, but it should be understood as the leader of the gods. The Elohim were also known among the Hebrews as the Anakim, a derivative form of the Sumerian word Anunnaki. The Hebrews, much like the Sumerians and their usage of Anunnaki, employed the term Anakim when referring collectively to the race of gods. When speaking of a specific god, they used El in context, such as El Shaddai, which signifies God of the mountain, or any specific title. The term Nephilim was used to describe the offspring resulting from unions between people of the Anakim race and humans. The Sumerians and Akkadians did not originally refer to these extraterrestrial visitors as gods. The concept of divine beings became more prevalent in later cultures. The Sumerians and Akkadians called them Elu, signifying the lofty ones, which eventually evolved into the Semitic Ili and El in Hebrew. The Sumerian term for the gods, Anunna or Anunnaki in Akkadian, signifies those who descended to earth from the heavens. These gods were beings that transcended typical human attributes, hailing from both another plane of consciousness and another celestial body. The name suggested for this celestial body, Nibiru, might have played a role in the origins of the term Hebrew. The Sumerian gods had an appearance that was somewhat reptilian in nature. Their chief deity was the god of the skies, named An or Anu. The name of the first city they established upon descending to earth, Eridu, may indeed be at the root of the word earth, Erd, itself. Their sacred realm, known as Eden, could be seen as the precursor to the biblical Eden of Genesis. Sumerian records also detail their endeavors to enhance human intelligence, possibly through what contemporary understanding might describe as genetic engineering or interbreeding experiments. In Jane Roberts' Seth books, it is suggested that cradle civilizations like Sumeria were seeded by transhuman beings who played a direct role in the advancement of human evolution. This concept is described as follows. Regarding the origins of your human stock, it's important to understand that not all of it came from your planet exclusively. I didn't mention this before. In this context, your ancestral history is quite diverse. The concept of evolution, as commonly understood, had multiple facets in those terms. There were 3 or 4 distinct starting points, and subsequent visits from beings originating from other planetary systems occurred. In this sense, it's a natural part of the unfolding story. In comparison to the norm, your own planet's relative isolation is quite unique. Many of the legends, consequently, are actually historical records of real physical events. These accounts often involved phenomena that the native populations couldn't adequately describe using their existing vocabulary. To convey what they witnessed, they resorted to analogies with familiar objects and occurrences. It's worth noting that some of these extraterrestrial visitors, according to your perspective, were more advanced or evolved than others. The beings from other planetary systems, in comparison to the civilizations they encountered, often seemed superhuman. Some of them even conducted deliberate experiments, although these experiments could be quite perilous for the experimenters themselves. Their aim was generally to enhance humanity's knowledge and understanding, although the process was far more complex than it may seem. The development of feasible inter-system space travel and the enhancement of psychic abilities were interrelated and not simple, linear progressions. Psychic abilities were a prerequisite for advanced space travel, and the two aspects of development went hand in hand. As a result, it became more practical to interact with Earth's inhabitants during their dream state, where natural fear responses were lessened, and the risks to the visitors were significantly reduced. Out-of-body encounters became a common approach. This allowed the visitors to materialize and dematerialize without concerns about being pursued or detected. These advanced beings often provided civilizations with warnings about impending natural disasters, as their expanded perspective allowed them to perceive such events more clearly. These warnings were delivered either during the dream states of Earth's inhabitants, as explained earlier, or in secluded, secure locations. This approach was necessary because, on occasion, the visitors faced hostilities and attacks from the civilizations they were trying to assist. According to Seth's teachings, The original Sumerians were not only a biological species but also belonged to a distinct family or species of consciousness known as the Sumerians. Seth describes these Sumerians as one of several consciousness groupings, with each individual human having a specific soul affiliation with one of these groups. It was the Sumerians who, through their existence, left a profound imprint on the culture known as Sumerian, also referred to as Sumerian by historians. The Sumerians were the initiators of that particular civilization, even though they didn't control all of its activities or the misinterpretations that sometimes occurred as a result of their teachings. There is a distinction between the Sumerians and the culture portrayed in historical records. The Sumerians served as the driving force behind the development of that civilization. Seth conveys the Sumerians' intention to share knowledge with humanity while also highlighting a distinction in their biological origin. He suggests that they were not originally of human stock but gradually evolved into a form that resembled humans over time. The Sumerians, in the distant past, played a pivotal role in guiding Earth's inhabitants in the arts of communication and craftsmanship, laying the foundational stones upon which civilizations could flourish. It's worth noting that the Sumerians themselves did not originate from the human lineage during that era. They transformed into human beings during different periods, not with the intent of encroaching on native human populations but rather as a part of their evolution. Their profound grasp of the essence of individual existence empowered them to select from a multitude of physical realms the ones in which they desired to partake. They retained their inner wisdom and core identity, seamlessly incarnating into any chosen system. They consistently harnessed their inherent gifts and aptitudes to contribute significantly to the system, particularly excelling in psychic and creative ventures. In terms of the enduring connection of individuals with the family of consciousness, from which the amalgamated Sumero-human lineage originated, this is the familial group referred to by Seth as Sumari or Sumerian. This doesn't imply that individuals are necessarily conscious of their connection. It remains a deeply personal aspect. They frequently take on roles as innovators, consistently engaged in the inception of novel concepts or breakthroughs. All of these endeavors adhere to intrinsic human patterns, as defined by your standards. Consequently, humanity possesses its distinctive traits, and any external influence must align and collaborate with these inherent qualities, rather than oppose them. A faint reflection of the amalgamation between the Sumerians and humans is subtly alluded to in the Book of Genesis. Here, the term gods is notably employed in the plural form when these divine entities resolve to shape humanity in their own likeness. It is recorded as, "And Elohim spoke, saying, Let us fashion humanity in our image and according to our likeness." In Genesis chapter 6, it is recounted that as humanity multiplied on earth and daughters were born, the Elohim, often referred to as gods or divine beings, beheld the exquisite beauty of these mortal daughters. They took these humans as their spouses. It was during this union between the Elohim and human daughters that the Nephilim emerged on earth, and they continued to exist, born from the offspring of this divine human connection. The term Nephilim carries the connotation of fallen ones. It signifies that preceding the biblical fall, there occurred a descent or fall of the gods or Elohim themselves. This descent sowed the seeds of the human race in the form of demigods, individuals who were part human and part divine, exhibiting characteristics of both mammals and various creatures like birds, snakes, or reptiles, hence the Nephilim or Nephilim. Additionally, there were giants known as Raphaim. The Haggadah suggests that prior to the fall, even Adam and Eve possessed Nephilim attributes, being part human yet adorned with gleaming, snake-like skins. These attributes were lost after the fall but then employed as coverings to conceal their human vulnerability and nudity. Before their physical forms had been cloaked in a resilient, horn-like covering and enshrouded in a radiant aura, Adam and Eve remained in a state of purity. However, as soon as they transgressed the divine mandate, the luminous aura and protective horn-like skin vanished, leaving them exposed in their naked vulnerability and filled with shame. The Hebrew word seraphim, signifying fiery or shining serpents, finds its place in the context of venomous snakes, often akin to nagas, encountered during the Exodus. During this period, God instructed Moses to fashion a serpent idol, and those who gazed upon it would find relief from the venom's effects. Notably, the Hebrew term seraph is a rather rare occurrence in the Old Testament, with its appearance linked to regions like Philistia and the Negev. These areas were traditionally associated with the descendants of the Nephilim, following the deluge. The seemingly serpent-like or crypto-reptilian aspect associated with the early Sumerians, as well as with the legendary figures of the Nephilim and Seraphim from the Old Testament, together with the modern interpretation of them as not just mythical beings but potentially extraterrestrial life forms possessing advanced technological capabilities, including space travel, demands a more profound and comprehensive understanding. As Seth emphasizes, the challenge arises when you attempt to pigeonhole consciousness or existence. From a broader perspective, the out-of-body state is more intrinsic than the in-body state. You assume and manifest a physical form. Currently, you undertake this process without conscious awareness, yet the creation of a physical form can be accomplished using the veneer of any given system, a task made simple when you possess the knowledge of how to do it. Hence, spacesuits represent a limited, unwieldy attempt to recapture an innate skill of draping the inner self with whatever disguise is readily available, to seamlessly blend with the very essence of an environment and become a vital component of it. Space and time, as conventionally comprehended, interweave in intricate ways, quite distinct from your usual perception. Currently, your grasp of existence is largely confined to its interaction within 3 dimensions. Nonetheless, its true dynamics extend across numerous other dimensions. The Sumari, therefore, materialize within or intersect with the 3-dimensional system from these alternate dimensions. We cannot assert that the organ possesses capabilities, but rather we must acknowledge that the capability shapes the organ. Heidegger. In a similar vein, it's not that living organisms possess capacities, whether mundane or extraordinary, rather, capacities assume the guise of living beings. This is why depictions of real or mythical creatures can also represent distinct capacities. Whether or not the Sumerians actually bore physical wings, these wings stood as symbols of a psychic faculty, the ability to soar. In line with Lillian Silburn's insights, a comprehensive understanding of Tantrism appears elusive without a genuine comprehension of Kundalini. The term Kundalini itself signifies the curled or coiled one. Thus, could we not detect subtle allusions to Kundalini within select myths of ancient India, where the Naga, those formidable deities in the form of serpents, hold a significant place? In the course of a Vedic ritual, the sacred throne of the Brahmin priest, imbued with incomprehensible wisdom, is addressed in the following manner: "You are an all-encompassing sea, you are the solitary, uncreated one, you are the serpent dwelling in the profound depths of the ocean." Silburn, the poets, often called Kavi, and the mystics, known as Rishi, safeguarded the knowledge associated with these deities with such secrecy that its core was lost, dating back to the time of the Rig Veda. Even in those ancient times, the serpent Ahi, the protector of the founts of wisdom, underwent a transformation into a dragon and faced defeat at the hands of Indra. Nevertheless, Kundalini evokes the imagery of the age-old serpent from the profound abyss, Ahirbaniya, extolled in the Vedas. Its domain delves into the depths of the ocean, the expanse of the atmosphere enveloped in clouds and mists, and the profound recesses of the earth, from which the benevolent springs surge forth. Ahirbaniya thus embraces the entirety of the universe. Additionally, it's worth noting the veneration of the esteemed Naga in regions like pre-Aryan India, notably in Kashmir. Here, the Naga, revered as both divine serpents and mystical sages, held a profound knowledge of esoteric sciences, veiling celestial ambrosia within their lore. Within the realm of Kashmir Shaivist Tantrism, Kundalini emerges as the conduit through which not only the tangible historical underpinnings but also the unadorned inner essence of these myths and legends are unveiled, unfurled like a scroll. Terms such as ocean and atmosphere take on new meanings, symbolizing the vast sea and the ethereal expanse of consciousness. Kundalini is acknowledged as the core of the inner body, akin to what Deleuze and Guattari describe as the body without organs, where the boundaries between inside and outside dissolve into spaces of pure awareness. The Divine Mother Goddess Uma, embodying Kundalini, shares a profound connection with Kekari Mudra, the inner stance or alignment that enables us to harness the potential to navigate through the void, Ka. It's the ability to soar through the transparent expanse of unadulterated awareness, descend into its fluid oceanic depths, or delve into its subterranean, fiery core of molten consciousness, the very essence of awareness aflame. The Shaivist Tantric tradition masterfully wove together post- and pre-Aryan Vedic religious symbols, offering a fresh and profound interpretation. The Vedic fire deity, Agni, was transformed into the pristine fire of consciousness, a latent force coiled at the base of the spine and ignited within the egg-shaped bulb, known as the kanda, nestled in the lower abdominal area. This kanda serves as the wellspring for the ascending, invigorating surge of fiery awareness, often equated with the dragon's breath or prana, which is none other than the Kundalini energy. Its ascent through the central passage within our empty, inner realm of consciousness, described in Buddhist language as the tubular citadel, is made possible by the concurrent suspension and merging of the breath moving upwards and downwards along the channels, referred to as nadis, particularly the Ida and Pingala. In the age-old representation of the caduceus, these conduits are depicted as serpents entwined around a central rod or staff. This central staff doesn't represent the spinal column per se, but rather the core channel of conscious breath. The ascending blaze of unadulterated awareness or subjectivity transforms into a radiant, sun-like illumination of awareness, situated in the heart region. It radiates its light to enlighten and transfigure all sensory perceptions, collectively represented by the symbol of the moon or soma. Emerging from the fusion of the sun and moon, the convergence of Agni and Soma, the convergence of pristine subjectivity and the sanctified object, springs forth the elixir of life. This nectar, or the ambrosia known as Amrita, is the embodiment of blissful awareness, often referred to as Chitananda, and is symbolized by the sacred juice of the beloved Soma plant, cherished by Indra. Just as the yoni and linga, when united, release the nectar of immortality, similarly, from the fusion of fire and moon, this divine elixir emerges. When the subject prevails over the object, the flow of ambrosia begins immediately. She, Prana Kundalini, stirs and, further ignited by the fire, projects the 5 sensory radiations successively. Witness this phenomenon also within the sense organs, extending from the ears to the limbs. Awareness unveils itself as both an internal and external reality. Therein, within its own essence, freely it takes form as the other, manifesting as both subject and object. The contemporary linking of Kundalini yoga with tantric sex, and the sexual rituals of Tantra from yesteryears often overlooks the fact that the divine, sensuous state of awareness and bliss which it pursues can indeed, but doesn't necessarily have to, be entwined with sexual intimacy. Its core essence resides in the union and dynamic interplay between the intrinsic potency of pure awareness, manifesting as the flame or fire of inner awareness breath, and the sensory encounters found in its bodily and material expression. In the realm of tantric symbolism, it's crucial to discern that it isn't synonymous with sexual symbolism. Rather, Tantra represents the comprehension of pairing, referred to as Maithuna, as a metaphorical representation of the union, known as yoga, between divine awareness, Shiva, and its dormant, coiled potential, Kundalini, found in the physical and sensory embodiment, Shakti, the rod, or staff, represented by Kundalini, exemplified by the erect serpent or cobra, transcends mere symbolism. It embodies the cavernous expanse of awareness within the entirety of the body, akin to the tubular citadel. This entity is simultaneously yoni and linga, serving as both a fertile womb and a passage for the ignition and emergence of Kundalini. Kundalini herself, akin to an ascending pea-serpent, transforms into the rising flames and radiant ecstasy of conscious bliss. She ascends from beneath, starting from the feet and the earth's foundation, passing through the profound watery realms of the soul, all the way to the apex of the head and beyond. Her journey culminates in a convergence point above the crown of the head, often referred to as Devadasanta, where she releases herself into the expansive, all-encompassing expanse, the sky, of unadulterated awareness, Shiva in his very essence. This manifestation unfolds across distinct realms: the subjective, likened to fire; the realm of comprehension, akin to the sun; and the domain of the known, symbolized by the moon. In the profound communion, known as Mithuna, between fire and the moon, a mutual exchange transpires through the ebb and flow of awareness. This harmonious blend of subjectivity and objectivity generates an all-encompassing, ultimate awareness. As the inherent capability, the dynamic power or Shakti, of consciousness, to freely metamorphose, to traverse and soar, bend and twist within the infinite expanse of awareness known as the ether, or Akasha, Kundalini is intrinsically linked to the very core of the etheric body, manifesting as a serpent spirit, or Naga. The essence of Kundalini, as perceived through the new yoga of awareness, revolves around relearning to sense and wield the complete mobility of awareness once more, its ability to rise and descend, stand tall or slither, curve and coil, or even to swim and soar within the boundless ether, or ocean, of consciousness, which serves as the ultimate source of all existence, all worlds, and all living beings. Hence, the new yoga of awareness encapsulates the very core of Kundalini Yoga, endeavoring to ready the human body for its resurgence as an unrestricted and adaptable receptacle for our etheric body, or awareness body. This transformation enables us to relish the unbounded, unrestrained vitality once embodied by the magnificent serpents of splendor, formerly recognized as Nagas. The original significance of the Greek term for the flesh, sarx, was quite straightforward, referring to the skin. The skin serves as both a sensory representation of the soul and the body's primary sense organ. To rise above the flesh, the path isn't in harshly punishing it but in truly embracing it. By nurturing a heightened, internal awareness of our bare skin, the perceived boundary of our soul, or consciousness, distinguishing it from others, we can, paradoxically, come to recognize it as the very element that connects us to others and to the entirety of the cosmos, constituting our greater spiritual body. In a paradoxical twist, any spatial boundary, even a superficial one, does not harbor boundaries of its own. The inwardly perceived flesh, taking the form of skin or sarx, serves as a genuine soul spacesuit, permitting us to voyage inwardly through the outer space. This journey mirrors the path of our ancient spiritual forebears, who comprehended space not merely in its physical form but as the expansive and divine expanse of awareness itself. This extraordinary ability, symbolized by the preeminent Sumerian sky deity, En or Anu, is the very reason why the Sumerian gods were christened the Anunna. In the Tantras, this identical capacity for space travel was termed Kekari Mudra, signifying the skill to traverse or soar through the boundless and lucid void of awareness. The Sumerians, among their various teachings, are credited with imparting to humanity the profound knowledge of inner sound, the art of invocation, or mantra, a fundamental aspect of Tantra. In Tantric wisdom, A signifies the inner sound of awareness, extending towards the boundless expanse symbolized by the unsurpassable circumference, resonating in the sound An. From these two primal phonemes arises the Tantric expression for the Supreme Absolute, Anuttaia. An stands not only as the name of a Sumerian deity but also as an immensely potent mantra. Kundalini itself is unfurled through its potency, as elaborated by the profound Tantric master Abhinavagupta in the following ways. Once the guru has positioned the phoneme A within his own body, he should then, through the ritual act of transfer, convey the resplendent and potent A phoneme to the disciple. As a consequence of this transfer, once the bond is released, the disciple is elevated to the highest realm, denoted as Anuttaia. This particular process is referred to as sound penetration. The disciple's consciousness resides in the bindu, which can be found either between the eyebrows or within the heart region. After visualizing the bindu as radiating with the brilliance of flames, the guru employs it as a means to fully awaken awareness. Philip Gandana recounts the story of a forgotten legend, the guru stirs the essence concealed individuals who were withdrawn from our view due to ecclesiastical envy. Born during the 3rd or 4th year BC in Chiana, at the age of 16, Apollonius of Chiana embarked on a journey as a follower of Pythagoras. Swiftly evolving into a reformer, he established his dwelling place in the sanctuary of Aesculapius, the deity associated with serpent healing. Apollonius was widely regarded as one of the most profoundly wise individuals of his time. Interestingly, this insight itself provided a crucial clue, as Sophia, or wisdom, traced its origins to the root Ophia, which signified serpent. Sophia, thus, essentially meant shining serpent. It becomes evident that Apollonius likely attained his vast wisdom while studying under the sagacious Naga sages of the Indian subcontinent, renowned for their serpentine wisdom. There is compelling evidence for this in Philostratos' accounts, the biographer of Apollonius, who recounts the remarkable voyage to Kashmir to encounter the Naga sage Hyksos. He vividly describes the Emerald Valley surrounded by a ring of pearls, and the narratives that Apollonius shared with his fellow traveler, Demas, regarding dragons dwelling in the mountains. Both emeralds and pearls hold symbolic significance related to wisdom and knowledge, while the dragons inhabiting the hills were, in fact, none other than the Naga, the devoted serpent disciples of that region. The hills where these learned individuals resided were encircled by formidable rock formations on all sides. Upon their arrival, a messenger from one of the masters emerged, sporting a remarkable emblem, a serpent caduceus on his forehead, an unmistakable reference to the enlightenment journey through the Indian Kundalini, symbolizing the coiled serpent. In time, Apollonius himself evolved into a sagacious sage, and his renown continued to burgeon. Aurelian made a solemn pledge to construct temples and monuments in Apollonius's honor, stating, "For was there ever anything among mortals more sacred, revered, exalted, and divinely inspired than Apollonius?" He revived those who had passed away. His deeds and words transcended the limitations of humanity. According to the widely embraced tradition, Apollonius came into the world during the rule of Augustus, amidst the golden literary era of the nation to which he belonged. The age of Augustus was a time of flourishing historians, poets, orators, critics, and travelers. Yet, curiously, not a single one of them makes any reference to Jesus Christ, let alone recounting any aspects of his life. Emperor Marcus Aurelius himself acknowledged his indebtedness to Apollonius for his own philosophical insights and even commissioned the construction of temples and statues in his honor. In contrast, no statues or temples were dedicated to Jesus. Faust asserted, "It is common knowledge that the Gospels were not authored by Jesus or his apostles but were written much later by unidentified individuals who, aware that they would face skepticism when recounting events they hadn't witnessed themselves, appended the names of apostles or disciples from the same era to their accounts." In contrast, the written account of Apollonius's life carries substantial credibility. Philostratos, who penned the life of Apollonius, was in close friendship with Demas, who personally recounted the entire narrative. Philostratos remarked, "Some regard him as one of the Magi, given his interactions with the Magi of Babylon, the Brahmins of India, and the gymnosophists of Egypt. Yet, even his wisdom is often maligned, with some attributing it to the practice of magic. Such are the misconceptions surrounding him. Empedocles, Pythagoras, and Democritus, despite their interactions with the very same Magi and their expression of numerous unconventional ideas, have not faced such unfounded allegations. Even Plato, who journeyed through Egypt and interwove within his teachings various concepts gathered from the priests and prophets there, did not attract such unfounded suspicions, despite his exceptional wisdom that surpassed most. The mere possibility of Apollonius overshadowing the concept of Christ with his actual life stirred significant apprehension among early Christians. Justin Martyr, a prominent church father in the 2nd century, pondered, "How is it that the talismans crafted by Apollonius hold sway over specific elements of creation? They quell, as we've witnessed, the fury of the waves, the ferocity of the winds, and the assaults of wild animals. While the miracles of our Lord persist solely through tradition, those of Apollonius are numerous, and they continue to materialize in contemporary occurrences, to the extent that they confound onlookers." Not surprisingly, The work authored by Philostratos was intentionally withheld from translation and widespread dissemination. In fact, the books comprising the New Testament did not emerge until a span of at least 100 years following the publication of the life of Apollonius. Curiously, the birth of Apollonius shares striking resemblances with the fictitious life of Christ. During Apollonius's mother's pregnancy, Proteus, the Egyptian god, materialized before her, proclaiming, "Thou shalt bring forth me." Hence, Apollonius's mother was destined to give birth to a deity. Notably, Proteus was renowned for assuming the guise of a serpent. As per Philomore's account, Apollonius indeed established both a church and a community, comprised of his devoted followers. There is strong reason to believe that these affiliations had ties to a sect of the Essenes, recognized as the Therapeutae and Nazarenes. Indeed, a faction referred to as the Apolloni, the followers of Apollonius, continued to exist for several centuries following his passing. Remarkably, these followers played a pivotal role in the development of what eventually evolved into the Christian Church, especially following the Council of Nicaea. In this way, Apollonius can be seen as a pivotal figure in the early foundations of Christianity, rooted in the ancient serpentine myths and time-honored traditions. Let's take a moment to delve further into the enigmatic world of the Naga or Naga. Naga, a Sanskrit term, quite literally denotes a serpent, particularly the cobra. Yet intriguingly, it also carries a multitude of connotations: a tree, a mountain, the sun, the number 7, wisdom and initiation, symbols and emblems that we've encountered in our quest to understand those who venerated the serpent. The Naga, as the lore goes, were believed to dwell in Patala, an underwater realm akin to the fabled Atlantis. Intriguingly, the term Patala bears a resemblance to Antipodes, a term the ancients used to describe the Americas. The word Naga shares a similarity with the Mexican Nagals, referring to the medicine men, healers, and sorcerers who perpetually revered a deity embodied in the form of a serpent. In Burma, they are revered as Nats or serpent gods. In esoteric circles, Naga signifies wise men. A popular folk tradition tells of the Nagas washing Gautama, Buddha, at his birth, symbolizing the wise men's reverence for the divine presence on earth. These serpentine beings are also said to have safeguarded him and his bodily relics after his passing. According to H.P. Blavatsky in Theosophical Glossary, the Naga trace their lineage to Rishi Kasyapa, who, as the sun, had 12 wives, thus birthing numerous Nagas, serpents, and becoming the progenitor of all animals. The Nagas of Kashmir played a pivotal role in instructing Apollonius of China. This is the very Kashmir where serpent tribes garnered renown for their remarkable healing abilities. According to a theory, the Nagas could be traced back to the Scythic race, who are believed to have brought many of the legendary tales of Arthurian lore to the British Isles. When the Brahmins invaded India, they encountered a remarkable race of wise individuals, part gods, part demons, akin to snakes. These extraordinary figures were known as mentors to various nations, and they, in turn, shared their wisdom with the Hindus and Brahmins. It's no wonder that Apollonius sought their guidance. It appears that the Nagas also bequeathed healing myths, as exemplified in a tale recounted in the Journal of the Bombay branch of the Asiatic Society. When a widespread epidemic affected children, the solution was to bring them to a serpent skin suspended on a pole and let them touch it, an evocative echo of the brazen serpent from the biblical account of Moses, which was elevated on a pole to heal the children of Israel. This observation could provide insight into the absence of tree gods as distinct and individual entities in the Mahasamayas roster of deities, as described by the poet in their act of paying homage to the Buddha. The documented history of the Nagas, commencing around the 7th century BC, unfolds as a remarkable narrative of fluctuating fortunes. It intriguingly mirrors the ascent and decline of serpent veneration among the Semitic cultures, much like the tale of the brazen serpent erected in the wilderness and later shattered within the temple. The hill where these sagacious individuals dwelled was encircled by substantial mounds of rocks, forming a natural defense. Upon the arrival of the travelers, a messenger dispatched by one of the masters made an appearance, bearing a serpent caduceus emblem on his brow. This unmistakable symbol alluded to the profound process of enlightenment via the Indian Kundalini, often likened to a coiled serpent. Apollonius received teachings from a figure named Hyksos, who disclosed that these Nagas had imparted their wisdom not only to the Egyptians but also to the people of Ethiopia. Evidently, the wisdom of these serpent brethren had spread across distant lands. Over time, Apollonius evolved into a revered sage in his own right, and his renown continued to flourish. In recognition of his extraordinary deeds, Emperor Aurelian made a solemn vow to establish temples and erect statues in his honor, proclaiming, "For was there ever anything among mortals more sacred, revered, noble, and divine than Apollonius?" He restored life to the deceased, accomplished feats and articulated words that surpassed the bounds of human reach. Temples and statues commemorating Apollonius sprang up in numerous locales, including his hometown of Chiana. An intriguing letter penned by King Phrotes of Taxila addressed to Hyksos, his revered master, and the learned individuals accompanying him, reads as follows: "Greetings to you all. Apollonius, a man renowned for his wisdom, holds the belief that your knowledge surpasses his own. He is earnestly seeking instruction and guidance from you. Send him away learned in all you know, and believe that nothing you teach him will be lost." The perspectives of the Greeks and Indians regarding Bacchus, Dionysios, diverge significantly. According to Indian belief, Bacchus was considered the offspring of the river Indus, with the Theban Bacchus regarded as his pupil. For a young man to journey to their domain, he must venture beyond the Hyksos and personally meet these revered individuals. Upon his arrival, he is obliged to publicly declare his pursuit of philosophical wisdom. The esteemed philosophers possess the authority to determine his eligibility for inclusion within their fellowship, contingent upon his purity of intent. If no blemish or taint is identified, the next step involves a thorough assessment of the young aspirant's character. This evaluation delves into the nuances of the candidate's personality. These astute philosophers, possessing profound knowledge of human nature, perceive the innermost qualities and tendencies of individuals much like they view reflections in a mirror. In this land, philosophy is held in the highest regard and commands great respect among the Indians. Hence, it is considered imperative to subject anyone who seeks to approach her to such rigorous scrutiny. Apollonius of Chiana, I arrived by land, and you bestowed upon me the knowledge of the sea. By sharing your wisdom, you have unveiled the path to the heavens. Among my Greek compatriots, I shall forever hold this memory dear. Your teachings will remain a source of enlightenment, as if your wisdom still graces me. I hope that I have not been denied the fruits of my intellectual thirst. Farewell, esteemed philosophers." Apollonius addressing Hyksos and the other Naga sages. Hyksos graciously invited Apollonius to pose any questions he wished, acknowledging, "You converse with individuals who possess comprehensive knowledge." Reflecting upon the inscription that adorned the entrance of the Temple of Apollo in Delphi, Apollonius inquired, "Do you have knowledge of yourselves?" In response, Hyksos conveyed, "We possess omniscience because we possess self-awareness. None of us would have been granted access to the realm of philosophy without first attaining this profound self-understanding." Nestled in the heart of the Kashmir Valley lies the city of Srinagar, the sacred dwelling of the renowned Tantric sage Abhinavagupta. Srinagar holds the meaning of Sri Naga, signifying the blessed serpent. Established by the illustrious Buddhist monarch Ashoka around 300 BC, this city existed during the time when Apollonius visited Kashmir. The new Yoga of Awareness represents a voyage that transports us from the days of Apollonius to the era of Abhinava and even further. It takes us on a retrospective expedition through time, peeling back the intricate layers of Tantric religious symbolism to unveil the grander historical narrative of the Nagas. For me, this odyssey commenced with a multitude of vivid dreams that I encountered long before I was acquainted with the concept of Nagas. These dreams featured naked yogins, an open book revealing the Vesica Piscis with two perfectly overlapping circles, a radiant star that consistently beckoned me out of my physical form during the dream state, accompanied by an explosion of vibrant colors in the night sky. I embarked on a celestial voyage beyond our Earth, nearing an enigmatic planet, and I encountered a multitude of ethereal spacecraft with astonishing and diverse designs that materialized in the dreamlike skies. I encountered the ICHTHEUS Society, an enigmatic organization that found its center within a Masonic lodge nestled in a serene coastal town of England. Under the veil of the night, I strolled down a dimly lit street and chanced upon the lodge, where an unlocked door granted me entry. Within the quietude of its wooden-floored hall, I discovered the presence of just one guardian. This solitary figure gently conveyed that the hour had not yet arrived for me to partake in the gatherings or for the society's members to convene within those hallowed walls. The guardian explained that the society's venerable elders were engaged in the continuation of their profound work with individual members within an upper chamber, delaying the assembly in the main hall. In an instant, a deep understanding of the profound purpose of this work unfolded before me. The primary objective was to prepare the physical vessels of each member, allowing them to once more serve as conduits for the unrestrained and liberated spirits of ancient serpents. Simultaneously, I was granted a vivid vision of these serpentine beings as they existed in their primeval and oceanic sanctuary. These serpents, indeed, embodied the true essence of serpents of splendor. Their forms transcended any known measure, surpassing even the length and girth of the mightiest pythons. Each of their scales radiated a breathtaking iridescence, shimmering in the radiant sunlight. These serpents reveled exuberantly in their aquatic haven, entwining with one another in a dance of freedom, their sinuous forms twisting and turning, coiling and curving, celebrating the boundless spirit within. Objective science provides a framework, a model that has proven its utility over time. It has allowed remarkable achievements such as lunar exploration and the advancement of technology. Nevertheless, within the current structure of objective science, there will be limits even to technological progress, and it may encounter insurmountable challenges. A compassionate technology would consistently enhance the richness of qualitative and spiritual experiences. The genuine scientist is unafraid to establish a profound connection with the subject of their study, recognizing that only through such intimacy can a genuine comprehension of its essence begin to take shape. Many authentic scientists, although unrecognized in this era, embody this approach. Numerous true innovators are often unremarkable in their external appearance, holding other professions. Remarkably, many groundbreaking discoveries come from amateurs, who are unburdened by official doctrines and liberated from the need to excel within a particular field. These individuals allow their creativity to flow effortlessly and instinctively in domains that genuinely pique their interest. In practical terms, it's crucial for humans to identify with the land, the planet, and the changing seasons to truly understand and effectively utilize the Earth. Technological advancements alone will not save the human race. A collective identification with one's own species is equally essential. Additionally, a genuine connection with other forms of life coexisting on the planet is imperative. Without these connections, no amount of technology can provide insight into the depths of human consciousness. The use of tools like biofeedback to induce changes in consciousness is a valuable practice, but it's crucial to understand that such gadgets can create a degree of separation from one's natural state of being. The real value in these tools lies in their capacity to demonstrate that these alterations are within the innate capabilities of human consciousness. However, if not utilized with this understanding, there is a potential for these gadget-driven altered states to be employed for manipulation rather than the liberation of consciousness. I'm not making a definitive prediction, I'm merely highlighting one possible outcome. Throughout the annals of your planet's history, there existed civilizations whose comprehension of celestial mechanics, planetary movements, and stellar configurations rivaled your contemporary scientific understanding, all achieved without the aid of your advanced technology. These ancient peoples possessed a form of mental physics that enabled them to not only predict future global transformations but also delve into the intricate workings of the universe. These early visionaries included individuals who ventured to the moon long before your time, returning with data that paralleled your modern scientific insights in terms of relevance and accuracy. Furthermore, there were those who boasted a far deeper understanding of the origins of your solar system than your current knowledge allows. Remarkably, Some of these civilizations didn't require spacecraft to explore the cosmos, indicating the existence of extraordinary, enigmatic means of celestial exploration. In lieu of spacecraft, these civilizations enlisted the expertise of exceptionally skilled individuals who harnessed a blend of talents akin to dream art scientists and mental physicists. These extraordinary individuals embarked on journeys that transcended the boundaries of both time and space. Their remarkable expeditions yielded intricate maps, drawn with meticulous precision from vantage points spanning over 200 miles or more. These maps were a testament to the awe-inspiring journeys undertaken and the profound knowledge these explorers brought back from their odysseys. The profound reality is that the human experience extends far beyond the limits of one's physical body. Embracing this truth is a powerful antidote to the veils of illusion, for one of the most deceptive misconceptions, known as Maya, is the belief that a person's existence is contained within the confines of their own skin. In actuality, your essence reaches out beyond the horizon you gaze upon, weaving a connection with the boundless world that surrounds you. Within the archives of numerous archaeological collections, you'll find sketches of atoms and molecules. These illustrations were produced after individuals with a deep understanding of these phenomena learned to connect with and identify with them. The hidden meanings within these records often go unrecognized because you haven't made the necessary connections or, in certain instances, haven't reached a level of advancement that allows you to comprehend the information fully. The trajectory of your conventional science has, to a significant extent, diverged from the advancement of these inner sciences. As a result, each step in the path of mainstream science has taken you farther away from the understanding of consciousness inherent in all manifestations, whether visible or invisible. Until you recognize this inherent consciousness, you place a formidable barrier on your own path to knowledge and understanding. This discussion revolves around the ancient Lemurian bloodlines of the Amurumuru, a legendary lineage tracing back many centuries to terrestrial people known as the Aza, the Elder Race. These elders coexisted on the planet alongside the hybrid offspring of the Anunnaki, who have had a presence on Earth for over 400,000 years. Lemuria serves as the name for the latter phase of the lands previously known as the motherland of Mu. The submersion of the Mu lands did not occur in a single catastrophic event but was the result of a series of cataclysms that began around 35,000 years BCE. Following the initial devastations, many landmasses that constituted Mu were lost. Nonetheless, significant portions of these lands endured and would later resurface as Lemuria. Presently, certain parts of the western coastlines of the United States and Canada are remnants of the original motherland of Mu. This region spans from Mount Shasta and extends northwards through British Columbia, Canada. These areas constituted the northernmost mountaintops of Lemuria. Intriguingly, there is evidence of land formations challenging conventional dating methods. For instance, Turtle Mountain on Orcas Island defies scientific efforts to ascertain its age. Moreover, there are tunnels in the San Juan Islands that, when entered, can lead to locations such as Hopi Land in Arizona. The islands in and around the San Juan Islands, off the coast of Washington state and along the coastlines of Vancouver Island, exhibit clear indications that these lands were raised from the ocean floor approximately 5,000 years ago. Following 3 distinct periods of destruction, the remnants of Mu were rejuvenated as Lemuria. However, this transformation brought about several challenges. In the wake of the destructive eras, it became vital for numerous Lemurians and their celestial counterparts to take refuge underground for extended durations, primarily to ensure their safety. The earth changes that unfolded during this time were unparalleled in human history, necessitating such protective measures. According to the legend, in the moments leading up to Lemuria's ultimate demise, Sanat Kumara, the grandfather of the Solar Brotherhood, appointed his successor, Amurumuru, along with a dozen other Serpentine lords, to safeguard the records and powerful artifacts of the Amuru lineage by dispersing them to different corners of the world. These Serpentine lords represented the hybrid offspring of the Anunnaki and the ancient Aza, the Elder Earth race. These groups, often referred to as rings, evolved into what we now recognize as genetic lines or clans, tracing their heritage back to the root race, or the ancient Elder Earth race, the original inhabitants of the planet. Each of these rings was established within various cultures. The Nagas, symbolizing serpents in Sanskrit, in the region of the Indus, India. The earliest Mayans, including their initial serpent kings, Karamaya and Naga Maya. Subsequently, the serpentine kings Kukulkan and Quetzalcoatl played crucial roles in the development of the Itza Maya culture in South America. The lung dragons in China, an interesting note being that an ancient Chinese term for dragon was Naga. The Almarus and Kon-Tiki Viracocha had a significant presence in Peru. The Zoharim, or the Books of Splendor, were the original texts of the Kabbalah. In Egypt, an early priest cult was established to oversee the royalty who bore the title of Mesa, or Crocodile Lords, and they also laid claim to Adam or Amen, the Sun King, as their Kamara. The early Egyptians responsible for building the pyramids were referred to as the Naga. The Olmec, returning to North Africa from the lands of the Maya, carried with them the ancient traditions and knowledge. The Aztecs, who absorbed the cultures and religions of Mesoamerica, venerated the goddess Coatlicue, often depicted wearing a skirt of snakes and possessing 2 dragon heads. Assyrian mythology tells the story of the goddess Tiamat, whose fury threatened all who defied her. However, Marduk, the Babylonian sun god, defeated Tiamat in a celestial battle, and from her dismembered body, he fashioned the heavens and the earth. Man was created from her dragon's blood. Nidhogg is considered the dragon father of an underground realm known in Norse mythology as Nilheim. We will finish up on this short essay. A writer called Bill sent me a will back. There may be some repetitive info in here, but as it's based around serpents, we might as well fit it into this video. Throughout history, serpents have been seen as creatures from beyond the natural realm. Their strange locomotion, piercing, inhuman eyes, and uncanny survival skills give serpentine creatures an almost alien aura. Tales of giant snake-like creatures, ranging from world serpents to dragons, litter ancient literature and lore. Nearly every culture on Earth has flirted with serpent worship, and some of those practices continue to this day. Let's dive into the history and the mysterious allure of snake, dragon, and anthropomorphized serpent worship, in an attempt to understand where this phenomenon came from and why it has persisted well into modern times. Ancient origins: serpent worship predates any organized religion or pantheon of gods. 70,000 years ago, in the Sedilo Hills of Botswana, cultists painstakingly chipped a scaled serpent out of solid rock, each indentation giving the illusion of movement when illuminated by torchlight. It is some of the first evidence of human religion, and snakes were their chosen gods. Other evidence of pre-Mesopotamia serpent worship can be found in caverns worldwide. Serpentine goddess carvings dating back 7,000 years were found by Robert Braidwood's team at Jarmo in Iraq. Australia's rainbow serpent cults can be dated back to over 6,000 years ago, thanks to elaborate cave paintings left by the natives. In Greece, Apollonius Tiansky, a contemporary of Jesus Christ, was tutored in the arcane arts by the Nagas of Kashmir. Egypt saw the king initiate, in a similar light, carrying the serpentine emblem of divine wisdom. In Tibet, far from the habitat of actual serpents, the symbolic presence of the Lu, or Nagarjuna, persisted. Greece revered Athena, a warrior goddess and the patron of wisdom, whose shield bore the image of the serpent. Even in Ireland, where serpents were not native, they were worshipped and deified. In Africa, Dahomey was a chief center of serpent worship, while the python cult in other regions appeared to have foreign origins. Ancient Mesopotamians and Semites considered snakes immortal, hinting at their divine essence. In pre-Israelite Canaan, serpent cults were well established, with evidence of serpent worship artifacts in various cities. Syria had a Hittite shrine featuring a god holding a serpent, hinting at the serpentine presence in this region. In Babylon, bronze serpents flanked temple doorways. Assyrian bronze serpents were discovered at the Tel of Tepe Gora. Egypt revered both benign and malevolent serpents, with the cobra playing a significant role. Herodotus alluded to a great serpent defending the citadel of Athens, while oracles in ancient Greece were said to trace their tradition back to the worship of the Egyptian cobra goddess, Wadjet. On the Iberian Peninsula, evidence of serpent worship predates the introduction of Christianity. Australia witnessed the worship of the rainbow serpent, a primordial entity that created the landscape, embodied fresh water, and meted out justice. Cambodia's history intertwined with the Naga, giving rise to the Khmer people. Korean mythology featured Eobshun, the wealth goddess, in the form of a black snake. Native American tribes venerated rattlesnakes, attributing to them the power to control the winds. The Aztec deity Quetzalcoatl was a feathered serpent god. In Peru, tribes held great serpents in high regard, connecting them to their deluge beliefs. Lake Guatavita in Colombia was associated with a serpent god, receiving offerings of gold and silver. Norse mythology featured Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent, child of Loki and Angrboda, symbolizing the balance of forces. These early, primitive cults were spread across multiple continents and had no known contact with each other. And yet, before written language was developed, they had all gravitated to the divinity of serpents. When history began to be written in the lands of the Mesopotamians and the Semites, snake cults were still a popular subject. Musmahu, also known as the Distinguished Serpent, appeared in many regional myths alongside his broodmates Basmu and Asamgalu. They were seen as godlike figures, albeit with more minor aspects than the full-blown gods that would soon follow. Tiamat would quickly become one of the most famous goddesses of the region. Her form was that of a dragon or sea serpent, and she was part of the primordial workings of the universe. It was Tiamat who gave birth to the first generation of gods. She was later slain by Marduk, but not before unleashing all snakes and dragons upon the world. Soon after, Apep became a significant part of everyday worship in Egypt. The snake god could be seen as an embodiment of evil and death. Several rituals revolved around stomping, spitting upon, and cursing depictions of Apep so that chaos would be held at bay. They even wrote a detailed guide on smiting the evil snake god called the Books of Overthrowing Apep. As a counterpoint, the friendly snake god Mayan was said to coil protectively around the sun god Ra to shield him at night when his fires did not burn. Mayan even had a board game named after him, or perhaps the serpent-themed game came first, and the god was named after him. We'll likely never know. Over the next 2,000 years, snake cults and serpentine gods appeared on every inhabited continent. In Hindu myth, Vritra kept the waters of the world hostage until he was killed by Indra. Bobby was an Aboriginal Australian hunting god, a mighty snake who gifted the boomerang to mankind. The Greek snake god Ophioneus ruled the world alongside the mermaid goddess Eurynome until the two were cast down to make room for the other gods. Later, Gnosticism said that the evil snake god Yaldabaoth created the material world and all the temptations within it. Native Americans believe in both a feathered snake and a horned snake spirit. And, of course, the famous Aztec god Quetzalcoatl was the god of the morning star and seasonal renewal. All of these serpent deities played roles in the daily lives or religious teachings of millions of our ancestors. Were these gods and goddesses reflections of those older, more primal prehistoric snake spirits? Or were they part of an emerging pattern of serpentine worship that would leak into every major religion in the modern era? Serpentine holy books, as it turned out, the days of attributing godlike powers to serpents didn't end with the rise of modern religion. Every major holy book mentions serpents and dragons, usually in multiple guises and contexts. Starting with the obvious, the Judeo-Christian writings that make up both the Torah and the Old Testament have countless mentions of influential snake figures. The snake in the Garden of Eden, perhaps the personification of Lucifer, was the tempter who got Adam and Eve cast out of paradise. Moses experienced the power of God when he was ordered to make a bronze snake and lift it high on a pole, the mere sight of it becoming the cure to any snake bites suffered by his tribe. Isaiah describes powerful dragons or flying seraphs that haunt the lands of anguish and the Leviathan that will be slain in the sea. The Quran shares all of the experiences that Moses had with snakes but does not share the serpentine visitation in the Garden of Eden, attributing the temptation directly to Satan. Medieval Muslim art depicts some fantastic representations of dragons, but they are not mentioned directly in the Quran. In the Christian New Testament, the Psalms speak of trampling over asps, basilisks, and dragons. And, of course, Revelations tells of the beast, described as a red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns. The Nagas appear in not one but several religious texts spanning the belief systems of Buddhism, Jainism, and Hinduism. They are a powerful, divine race that can shapeshift between full snakehood, full humanity, and a hybrid of the two. The Mahabharata describes all Hindu Nagarajas and the cosmic snake Shesha in detail. The Naga Mukalinda is often depicted as sheltering and protecting Buddha. Still, most of these references are thousands of years old. With an advanced understanding of science and biology, we now know the roles that snakes play in nature. With knowledge of their ecosystems and evolution, surely the allure of serpent worship is gone in today's world. It might be shocking to some, but millions of people participate in serpent worship even to this day. How influential are these depictions of snakes, anthropomorphic serpent gods, and dragons upon modern culture and religion? Modern-day snake worship 20th century in Appalachia became the home of some of the strangest serpentine rituals in modern history. Adopted by many Christian sects, including Pentecostalism famously, snake handling as a way to become closer to divinity appeared in or around 1910. Some denominations still exist and practice snake handling as part of their worship to this day. The origin of this practice seems to be the Gospel of Mark, which says, "They shall take up serpents, and if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them." The handling of snakes and even intentionally consuming their poison is seen as an act of true faith. The snake serves as a medium and a litmus of one's connection to God. Failure of that faith is said to be why some get bitten and become ill from the poison. Some bitten practitioners don't seek medical help, instead calling upon divine intervention to save them. Another modern rite involving snakes occurs further south, in and near Haiti. Dambala is the great white serpent from Wedo. He is a powerful Iowa spirit in the practice of voodoo, with some traditions naming him as the primordial creator. Keeping, caring for, and handling snakes are all seen as components of pleasing Dambala and drawing upon the serpent's great lower power. Offerings of eggs, flour, grains, milk, and white flowers are made to him to emphasize his true purity. Snake handling in India may have once been for religious reasons, but it is essentially becoming a source of entertainment rather than worship. It's so popular that the government has demanded that all snake handlers be licensed. Finally, aspects of modern paganism involve invoking snake spirits and, in rare cases, ingesting prepared venoms. Minoan symbolism is prevalent in these rites, as are aspects of Celtic Druidism. Unlike many ancient mysteries, the practice of serpent worship never died down. Hundreds of thousands of people still worship snakes in the modern age. It's stunning that one of the earliest spiritual practices has survived dozens of cultural transformations, dating back tens of thousands of years. It has taken the form of symbolic worship, deification, anthropomorphizing, and even handling and ingesting the chemicals of the creature itself. A renowned ophidiologist once pondered, "With snakes, there's no middle ground. Love or loathe, the division is clear." Such a statement holds an undeniable truth. Journeying across the globe, one encounters individuals who revere these serpentine creatures, who find fascination in their graceful form, and even form intimate connections with them. Simultaneously, there exists a different spectrum of emotions, where people harbor an intense, primal fear of snakes. They're haunted by nightmares and are afflicted by a haunting ailment known as ophidiophobia. Among all Earth's creatures, none so profoundly divides humanity, igniting passions or fears that run deep, creating an undeniable duality in our perception of these enigmatic reptiles. What enigmatic encounters of the past could have forged such intense sentiments towards snakes? It's a riveting question to ponder. After all, the reign of reptiles on Earth spanned a staggering 150 million years, dwarfing the comparatively brief million years of human dominion. In their era, these reptilian overlords held sway over the entire planet. One can't help but wonder about the depths of their existence. Did they possess intricate social structures, a nuanced means of communication, their own code of conduct, and perhaps even a complex tapestry of beliefs woven into a religious framework. The realms of reptilian history remain cloaked in mystery, inviting us to explore the ancient enigma of a world where serpents and their kin held dominion. It's a thought-provoking hypothesis that the reptilian inhabitants of ancient Earth were fashioned in the image of their own deity, a god serpentine in nature. This godly lineage, eons ago, ventured to our world and bestowed it with their progeny, who reigned supreme for millions of years. Yet, the cosmic narrative takes another twist, for there came a time when celestial beings of humanoid visage, the ancient astronaut gods, descended upon Earth's stage. These divine beings, with their distinctly human appearance, chose the primate species as their favored kin, igniting the birth of humanity. In this intricate tapestry of creation, gods and goddesses, serpents, and humanoids converge, weaving a story that weaves together the very essence of our existence. So, who were these serpent people, shrouded in the mists of time? Were they visitors from distant galaxies, an otherworldly race, who descended upon Earth's realms, holding dominion for eons untold? Did their reign meet its enigmatic end with the arrival of ancient humanoid astronauts? We may never know for sure.